Hersam Acorn newspapers, publishers of the Greenwich Post, New Canaan Advertiser, the Darien Times, the Ridgefield Press, the Weston Forum, the Wilton Bulletin, the Reading Pilot, the Lewisboro Ledger, the Monroe Courier, the Eastern Courier, the Trumbull Times, Fairfield Sun, Shelton Herald, the Stratford Star, the Milford Mirror, and the Valley Gazette.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
This is your coffee break on HANradio.com.
It's Tuesday, June 2nd, and this is your coffee break live on HANradio.com and streaming on the Hersam Acorn Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, back in the Shelton studio after a long time on the road with John Kovach and Donald Eng and the rest of our HAN team. Guys, we have a special guest today coming up later in this hour, Scarlett Lewis, mother of a Sandy Hook school shooting victim, will be on to talk to us about her life's work since his death. The foundation she started has a fundraiser coming up next week, so we're going to be talking about that. We also have a lot of headlines to get to today in southwestern Connecticut. And Don, you're here to give us a look at the roads and weather.
That is my purpose. And right now, it was quiet up until the music started. It was pretty quiet. Now we've got a vehicle fire on Daniel Road near Cardo Road in Hamden. Also, a crash on Bridgeport Avenue in Shelton about a half hour ago. The emergency crews were reported to be on scene, so that should be clear before too much longer. The intersection of Weston Road and School Road in Weston is closed until further notice due to a downed tree and power lines. Eversource on the scene making repairs as we speak. And finally, roadwork in Bridgeport, I-95 northbound at exit 27A until 3 o'clock today. Expect lane closures, according to the DOT. Checking the weather, the flash flood watch for today has been canceled, according to the National Weather Service. Rain or drizzle is still likely, mainly between 2 and 3 p.m. Otherwise, cloudy with a high near 55. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low 47. Tomorrow, sunny and mid-60s tomorrow and Thursday, before it clouds up and starts drizzling again on Friday and Saturday. Your coffee break time is 11:04.
Thanks, Don. John, you happy to be back in the Shelton studio?
Yeah, kind of. I have some food in the refrigerator. It's been here for
been there
some
for
time.
For a while since we were last here.
I had that feeling when I came in. I'm like, I hope I didn't leave like a cup of coffee or something on my desk.
Yeah,
something growing in it.
There's something. There's something bad.
Something mutated.
Well, John, what's going on this morning in the news?
Cape Bethel police have issued a silver alert for 16-year-old Raycelyn Martinez, described as a white Hispanic girl weighing 211 pounds. She's 5 feet 4 inches tall with brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen in Bethel wearing a green sweatshirt and black leggings. She was last seen Monday and is considered an endangered runaway. If you know of Raycelyn Martinez's whereabouts, contact Bethel Police 203-744-7900.
Thanks, John. Well, in Shelton, firefighters responded to a trash fire in the Winter Brothers Waste Systems large garbage separation and recycling plant on Oliver Terrace around 1:30 Monday afternoon. The fire was relatively small and occurred in trash that had been piled in an indoor garage-type area. One firefighter said the trash that caught on fire was deep-seated inside the pile of trash. The fire was extinguished within a half hour, and a payloader was being used to remove debris that was near the fire. It was doused to prevent it from reigniting. Numerous Winter Brother employees had been evacuated from the plant and could be seen gathered outside as they waited for the situation to be resolved. 3 Shelton fire companies were visible at the scene: Echo Hose, Huntington, and Pine Rock Park, as well as the Shelton Police and Echo Hose ambulance. It appeared about half a dozen fire trucks and 25 firefighters were involved in the response, according to the Shelton Herald. No injuries were reported, and there appeared to be no structural damage. In May 2013, a major fire occurred in an older, much smaller Winter Brothers trash storage facility that is also on Oliver Terrace. Coffee break time is 11:06.
A Darien man lost or perhaps had stolen a backpack that he says contained more than $4,000 worth of high-end electronics, according to police. The 51-year-old told Darien police he was at Pear Tree Point Beach on Saturday, May 24th, around 4, with a BlackBerry brand backpack, which itself is valued at $50. In it, the man said, were a MacBook Pro laptop valued at $2,500, an Apple iPhone 6 Plus valued at $800, and a BlackBerry Z30 also valued at $800. Also in the backpack were the man's U.S. passport and 3 prescription medications. He told police no further available information was available from police about the drugs or their cost. The man thought he lost the backpack, looked for it, realized it was missing. Then after he realized it was missing the next day, said he initially thought it might have been taken from his car, but then changed his mind and now says he thinks it was taken at that Darien beach. So a lot of stuff in that backpack.
A lot of good stuff in that backpack. Jeez. Well, getting to some other news, a Shelton woman was arrested in Darien early Wednesday morning, May 27th, after police got calls about a car on the Post Road with a driver passed out inside it. According to police, witnesses spotted a 2008 Volkswagen Rabbit stopped in the middle of the road near Trader Joe's a little before 1:30 in the morning. Officers found the car stopped at an angle in the westbound lanes. Officers said the driver, who was 31-year-old Aaron Murphy of Maple Street in Shelton, was asleep inside the VW's engine, still running, police said. Officers were able to wake her and said they detected the odor of alcohol on her breath. In 2 breathalyzer tests, police said Murphy's blood alcohol content approached a level 3 times the legal 0.08% limit. Murphy was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol and/or drugs and released after posting a $250 bond. She is scheduled to appear in court on Monday, June 8th. Darien police noted that Murphy has prior DUI arrests in California and New Mexico.
Of course, the scary thing with that is that people always say that for everyone that gets arrested for DUI, how many times have you actually done it, but that you didn't get caught?
Right. That's a good point.
Third arrest.
Not good.
Scary.
Very.
A group of Wilton residents has filed suit seeking to force the Wilton Board of Selectmen to vote on repealing a $50 million bond that would pay for renovations of Miller Driscoll School. Sensible Wilton representatives said Monday that the group is not looking for monetary damages or seeking an injunction to stop the renovation process at this time. The group is asking for a timely hearing and vote, which it believes it has the right to under the town charter. Wilton's town attorney has advised the Board of Selectmen that the town's charter grants no such right. The group maintains that town officials spent thousands of Wilton taxpayer dollars to sell the renovation to voters. It is awaiting a decision by the State Elections Enforcement Commission on a complaint filed in that regard. Sensible Wilton also maintains town officials did not reveal that there is a projected decline in school enrollment before the vote to renovate the school. You can read more at wiltonbulletin.com.
John, upgrades to playgrounds in Mead Park and Kiwanis Park have been approved by the New Canaan Board of Selectmen at its meeting Tuesday, May 19th. New Canaan will spend more than $52,300 at Kiwanis Park to remove obsolete equipment, reconfigure the playground, and install new structures for toddlers, a new seesaw, spring animals, a spinner wheel, swings, and signs. Another $14,900 will be spent at the Mead Playground to update dated equipment and install new structures. Contractor M.E. O'Brien and Sons will be installing new play panels on the toddler structure. Some of the panels are nearly 20 years old. A new seesaw, the addition of a flywheel spinner, replacement of existing swing seats, and the installation of 50 cubic yards of wood fiber playground surface material. Recreation Director Stephen Benko Jr. said the Mead Park project should be done by the end of May. However, since the Kiwanis Park project was just approved, it will take a little bit longer. Boy, have playgrounds just gotten much cooler?
Incredibly.
I mean, I remember we had monkey bars, which were over asphalt, and you don't even see those anymore.
Tended to be rusted.
And yes, exactly. And of course, there was always like broken things in the high impact areas underneath structures. So good job, New Canaan. Sounds like a fun place.
Exactly. Don, it's 11:11 now. Let's take a look at the roads and weather.
Okay. Not too much different on the roads. We still have the crews responding to a vehicle fire on Daniel Road near Cardo Road in Hamden. We've also got road work just started up in Berlin on on Route 9 North, a quarter mile after exit 22, and in Wallingford, 91 northbound at exit 13. We also had that crash on Shelton on Bridgeport Avenue in Shelton. That should be cleared by now, but I haven't seen anything official from the DOT. As for the weather, we had a flash flood watch for today that has been canceled. Rain or drizzle is still likely, but we didn't get enough rain overnight to maintain the saturation in the ground. The rain or drizzle is likely mainly after 2 o'clock, otherwise cloudy with a high near 55. Tonight, cloudy again, low of 47. Sunny and mid-60s tomorrow and Thursday. And then the clouds and drizzle roll back in for Friday and Saturday. Right now, outside our reinvigorated Shelton studio, it is 51 degrees, 52 in Fairfield, 51 in Ridgefield. Coffee break time, 11:12.
This is just in from the New Canaan Advertiser. Electricity went out at New Canaan High School for a few minutes earlier this morning. Generators have been activated and power has been turned back on after just a few minutes in the dark. Watch ncadvertiser.com for updates on that. Kate?
All right, thanks, John. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, it's time for a look back on this day in history, as well as the latest on local sports and some more news. So that's all coming up after this.
Your child has fallen and broken his arm. You need to see an orthopedist fast. Think Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Don't wait hours in the ER. Save a trip and money by going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care in Norwalk. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast.
The long winter is finally astern. Bait is invading the harbors, coves, and inlets. Stripers, fluke, and porgies are on the move. In the streams and lakes, trout, smallmouth, largemouth, and walleye have moved out of hibernation. At the dock shop, it's all systems go. And now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and their newest location at 609 Riverside Avenue in Westport. Bait, tackle, apparel, and of course, all the marine and nautical accessories that they're known for are ready for you at the dock shop. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
11:15. Welcome back to your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics on HANradio.com. John Kovach, I'm with Kate Czaplinski, Donald Eng, Rob Adams. Time for our daily look back in history with Mr. Eng.
Well, we first look way back, 455 CE, the sack of Rome. Vandals enter Rome and plunder the city for 2 weeks. Pope Leo I had requested that Vandal leader Genseric not destroy the city, nor murder its inhabitants. Considering the context in which the word Vandal has gone into history, that deal did not work out too well for the Romans. Western Roman Emperor Petronius Maximus fled the city rather than fight the battle. He was killed by a Roman mob outside the city. 1692, Bridget Bishop, the first person to be tried and executed at the Salem witch trials in Massachusetts. She was hanged June 10th. Before it is over, the Salem witch hysteria, 72 women would be accused, 20 of them convicted and executed. 1774, the Intolerable Acts, the Quartering Act, is enacted, allowing a governor in colonial America to house British troops in houses, barns, or other buildings if the crown could not provide suitable accommodation. The act was so hated by colonists that after winning independence, the Third Amendment in the Bill of Rights specifically outlaws this practice. Ironically, the Third Amendment, the only one of the original 10 that has never been litigated in the Supreme Court. 1835, P.T. Barnum and his troupe Barnum's Grand Scientific and Musical Theater begin their first tour of the country. His first show was pretty shocking to modern sensibilities. It consisted of an exhibition of a blind and paralyzed woman that Barnum said was 160-year-old Joyce Heth, who Barnum claimed was George Washington's caretaker. The truth was that Heth was not more than 80 years old, one of the many hoaxes of Barnum's. Some of his other exhibitions were a 5-year-old midget that Barnum claimed was 11, a so-called Darwin's Missing Link named William Henry Thomas, and some non-human exhibitions, the Fiji Mermaid and the Cardiff Giant, the most famous. 2004, Ken Jennings begins his record 74-game winning streak on Jeopardy! And finally, 1953, the world saw this.
Crown you with a crown of glory and righteousness, that having a right faith and manifold fruit of good works, you may obtain the crown of an everlasting kingdom by the gift of him whose kingdom endureth forever. Forever. Amen.
That was the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II in Westminster Abbey, crowned Queen of the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and her other realms and territories, and the head of the Commonwealth. That was the first international event to be televised live. As you look back in history, I'm Donald Eng.
That's very cool, and I was watching it, and I'm thinking, and Rob Adams joining us, we've kind of been deprived. We've never seen a coronation of a British monarch in our lifetimes.
We have not. Now we've seen a couple of weddings.
We've seen weddings and whatnot.
Four weddings and a... Never mind.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right. Just stop.
No matter how silly the idea of having a queen may be to us, and
the fact that we fought to get away from the queen and that whole
and now we're all
act
obsessed
thing.
with them. Yeah, it's I don't the monarchy kind of obsession. It's not something I really. It's almost like it's the amazing thing is when you really pin down a British subject and ask why do you guys still have a royal family? They kind of fumble and stammer and then kind of mumble something about the tourists. That's.
Oh yeah, do you do that a lot? You pin them down and ask?
like twice. How many do you know? There was an exchange student a couple doors down from me.
And then they ask you why we have the Kardashians, and you both kind of look at each other and grunt and
they're obsessed
walk
with
the
all
other
that
ways.
too. Yeah.
So is what it is. Rob Adams joining us with sports. And Rob, I'm looking at the window behind you and thinking we're not going to have a lot of sports scores to report tomorrow either.
Nope, we don't have much to report today either, but we take a look at the things that I can confirm for you that have been postponed, and we'll do our best from there, folks. We start with talking about what's going on in baseball. Now, all of these games have been postponed and moved, and I'll just give you the full list as I've got it. Berlin at Bethel, East Hampton at St. Paul Catholic, Haddam Killingworth at Oxford, Hand at Wilcox Tech, Maloney at New Fairfield, Manchester at Southington, New London at Fermi, Nonawag at Walcott, Notre Dame at Fairfield at Career Magnet, Northwestern hosting Plainville, Pomperog at Torrington. That's not with two O's. But anyway, Rocky Hill at Bullard Havens, SMSA at Housatonic Valley, St. Joe's at Woodland, and Universal Classical Magnet at Tolland. That's all of the baseball stuff. Now, we haven't 100% confirmed the New Canaan situation, but I think that's not looking very good today either. Just based on a glance at the FCAC schedule that Dave Stewart has listed for us, I'm not seeing the New Canaan game listed, which makes me think that one's also off. Greenwich at Ward, definitely off. I saw Sean Saylor tweet that a few moments ago. I know in softball, Greenwich at NFA has also been postponed. The bottom line is this. The list is going to grow once again. We've got so many games that are getting postponed, so it looks like, on to tomorrow. And it's I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do for the balance of the week. Are they going to have to play Wednesday, Friday, Saturday? I don't see them playing 3 days in a row. That's one thing I don't see.
I don't know, because you're looking at fitting this in a schedule. They don't like to go after school ends. You've got spring football that they try to time out, although the playoffs usually overlap that. And it's going to get, if you've got a deep pitching rotation, you're going to come out of this okay. But if you're one pitcher deep,
oh, you're in big trouble.
You got problems.
If you're Trinity Catholic and you're trying to work off of Randy Polonia, you've got a big problem. Now, Cam Gregg pitched okay against Staples the other night, but that's just my example, is that you've got to have that depth, and you've got that depth when you're a team like, Well,
Wilton has it, too.
Yeah, I think Wilton has it, certainly, with Morin and Ward. But beyond that, I don't know.
Talk more about this on Nutmeg Sports at 2, and we'll have you back in about a half hour.
Okay.
Thanks, Rob. News flash out of Darien this morning. Republican selectman candidate Jennifer Sommer has opted to withdraw from the race for the board. She told the Darien Times this morning. She said that information of a personal nature about Sommer was recently the topic of a discussion on a local blog, according to Susan Schultz of the Darien Times. But Sommer declined to comment on whether that was the reason that she withdrew from the race. You can read more and follow that story at DarienTimes.com. Kate?
Thanks, John. Well, a judge is allowing Meriden's former director of Health and Human Services to enter a mental rehabilitation program, according to the Associated Press. Police say 44-year-old Lisa Pippa reported a burglary at the health department office. Hidden cameras captured her placing peculiar letters in a fellow employee's mailbox, trying to connect her to the staged burglary. According to statements Monday in Superior Court, Pippa wanted her gone so she could run the office how she wanted. Pippa's attorney says she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and general anxiety, and that the medication she was taking interacted with other medications she was taking following a surgery. Judge Philip Scarpino says he believes her mental illness contributed to the offense. The charges will be dropped if she completes the program. Your coffee break time is 11:23. Don, anything changing out there on the roads?
Not too much. We've still got the vehicle fire reported on Daniel Road near Cardo Road in Hamden. I'm assuming that the crash on Bridgeport Avenue in Shelton, which was first reported nearly an hour ago, has cleared, but no word from DOT yet. We've also got the road work on the Turnpike northbound at exit 27A in Bridgeport until 3 o'clock today. Expect lane closures. And finally, the intersection of Weston Road and School Road remains closed until further notice due to a downed tree and power lines, according to the Weston Forum. Eversource is on the scene making repairs. And as far as the weather goes, there was a flash flood watch for today in effect that has been canceled, according to the National Weather Service. We will still see some rain or drizzle, mainly after 2 o'clock. Otherwise cloudy with a high near 55. Tonight, cloudy, 47, and sunny and mid-60s tomorrow and Thursday, clouding up for Friday and Saturday. Coffee break time, 11:24.
Thanks, Don. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by Scarlett Lewis, who is the founder of the Jessie Lewis Choose Love Foundation. She's going to be talking to us about her work and about a special event they have coming up next week. So that is what we're going to be talking about right after this.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield, We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
The long winter is finally astern. Bait is invading the harbors, coves, and inlets. Stripers, fluke, and porgies are on the move. In the streams and lakes, trout, smallmouth, largemouth, and walleye have moved out of hibernation. At the dock shop, it's all systems go. And now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and their newest location at 609 Riverside Avenue in Westport. Bait, tackle, apparel, and of course, all the marine and nautical accessories that they're known for are ready for you at the dock shop. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Now you can keep up with what's happening in Darien with the convenience of the Darien Times Online. Your choice. Print or digital subscription for just $45 a year. Or get the print and digital bundle for just $10 more, $55 a year. To subscribe to the Darien Times, go to hersamsecure.com/CIRC or call the circulation department at 203-894-3388. The Darien Times, now in print and online. Don't miss a single issue. Subscribe today.
You're listening to Hersam Acorn Radio.
It's 11:28 on your coffee break on HANradio.com and live streaming at HANradio.com/livestream. I'm Kate Czaplinski with John Kovach, and we're joined now by Scarlett Lewis, who is the founder of the Jesse Lewis Choose Love Foundation. Scarlett, you lost your son Jesse in the Sandy Hook school shootings, and since then you've kind of made it your life's work, if that's fair to say, to help people choose love. Can you tell us a little bit about Jesse and how this all got started?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me on your show, Kate and John. I appreciate it very much. On December 14th, 2012, when the Sandy Hook tragedy took place, where 20 first graders were killed and 6 teachers and administrators, on that day, Jesse showed an incredible amount of courage when he was instrumental in saving 9 of his friends' lives. Those brave actions, in conjunction with a final message that he left on our kitchen chalkboard, he actually wrote shortly before he died 3 words: nurturing, healing, love. Now, of course, those 3 words aren't in the vernacular of a 6-year-old. They're not something that a 6-year-old would say. They were phonetically spelled because he was just in first grade and learning to write. But those 3 words are in the definition of compassion across all cultures. And when we looked into that message further, because we felt like it was somewhat of a prophetic message, we found that nurturing meant loving kindness and gratitude. Healing actually means forgiveness, and love is compassion in action. And when you practice those 3 character values really in that order, that you're choosing love. So this message is kind of the formula for choosing love. It's a universal message. Anyone can do it at any time, in any circumstance, and it actually brings you to choosing love. So we thought that together with Jesse's example of courage, and it's not really the courage that we see in the media or on TV or in the movies, it's this courage that we all have within us. And it's courage to be kind and gentle, and courage to care about one another, and to be kind. So that is really the foundation for this movement that we've created, the Jesse Lewis Choose Love movement.
How is the Jesse Lewis Choose Love Foundation spreading that message and teaching that lesson?
Well, I've written a book called Nurturing, Healing, Love, of course. I've traveled all over the world, and we are just now coming out with some products for children in particular. We have Choose Love movement boxes, which are based on these foundational components of social and emotional learning. Nurturing, healing, love, and courage. And so we will be releasing those nationwide on Election Day and holding free teacher training in Trumbull. And we're really excited about it. And that fulfills part of the mission and vision of the Jesse Lewis Choose Love Foundation, which is to provide access to every child for social and emotional learning. In the tragedy, it was really found that that was something that was lacking in our schools, and that had we had that component in place, that the tragedy might not have happened. Scientific research shows that when kids have access to social emotional learning, they have less behavioral problems, less addictions, less anxiety and stress, higher test scores. There's actually an $11 return on every dollar invested into social emotional learning. So really all of the results point towards the importance of social emotional learning. So that's one of the things that we advocate for as well.
Now, Scarlett, you went through what so many people would consider just an unfathomable loss, what you experienced by losing Jesse. How do you come to the point where you work through that and turn it into something positive?
That's a great question. It's very difficult, and I am absolutely still grieving on a daily basis for my precious 6-year-old son and for the loss of the others. But really, both JT, who is Jesse's older brother, 6 years older, so he's now a freshman at Newtown High School, and I have literally embodied Jesse's message of nurturing, healing, love. From the very beginning, we started thinking of things that we could be grateful for. And we found that we had a lot still to be grateful for despite the loss of Jesse. We had our family and friends and our farm and our aminals, as Jesse called the animals on the farm. So we started out with gratitude, and that really gave us the strength to make the decision to forgive the perpetrator of the crime. So we literally saw him as a human being who was also in a tremendous amount of pain to have done something like that, and also somebody that slipped through the cracks and who wasn't given nurturing, healing, love. So looking at it in that light, we were able to forgive. And then after doing that, that gave us kind of the strength to find meaning in our suffering and to go out and help people with that meaning.
Now, just looking through your website, you guys are trying to go global. I mean, kind of create global healing from what I see. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I've been invited to speak really all over the world, and JT has been with me on a bunch of those trips. The book's been published in a couple of different countries. And this universality of nurturing, healing, love, and this message and a formula for choosing love is really something that everyone needs. So we have schools in Malawi and Argentina and Germany and Switzerland and Australia. So it's really incredible. And I've been into prisons with this message. The question is, well, does that formula really work for choosing love? And actually, I think we're so focused in our society sometimes on the problem. Like take for instance, bullying. We have all these anti-bullying programs, and since we've been tracking bullying in 2003, it's grown 21%, and those are just reported incidents. How about focusing on choosing love? And I think that's what really everybody wants to do. What's the fundamental thing that everybody wants in their heart? They want to love and be loved. We just need to know how to do it. And we're not taught that in schools. We're taught reading, writing, and math. Really incredible, important subjects, but even more important than that is how to regulate our emotions, life skills, how to be resilient human beings. And that's what Jesse's message teaches, and that's what social emotional learning teaches as well.
Can the Choose Love Foundation fill that gap that we're seeing societally, where there are these people slipping through the cracks in schools and in the system?
There are lots of different things that can fill that gap. I think this is one of them. Our programs are going to be free. So a lot of the programs that are out there are expensive. So this way, if a teacher wants to understand the formula, the nurturing, healing, love for herself, wants to pass that along to the kids, understands the value of social emotional learning, then she can download this program when it's available in a couple of months, and she can teach it to her kids and to herself. And I think that that's a start.
That's amazing. Now, next week, June 11th, there's a big event for the organization coming up in Darien. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's going to be held at Jimmy's Southside Tavern, and it's going to be in Darien because I went to Darien High School, and I have to tell you that since the very beginning, since the day after the tragedy, all of my friends in that community was in my living room and completely loving and supporting me. Very shortly afterwards, I told a few of my close friends from high school, I have this idea. And they took it and ran with it, really. I owe everything to them because they believed in Jesse's message. They believed in the mission and the vision that I had. And so basically have been my supporters from day one. So I wanted to bring the fundraising event to them, those people that have been there with me since day one.
And what can people expect if they attend? What are you guys going to have?
Right. So we're gonna be having a lot of fun, and I say that in those words in particular because that's actually another message that Jesse left for his older brother JT. The same day that I found the chalkboard message, JT found this little piece of paper that was folded up and on his desk in his room, and Jesse had written a message for him, and it said, "Have a lot of fun," which was such a beautiful thing from a little brother to a big brother. And so I kind of took that as a universal message as well, because while we're practicing nurturing, healing, love, we need to be having a lot of fun to do it. So that's kind of the theme for this Choose Love fundraiser event, to have a lot of fun. My brother is going to be playing Trent Lewis with his band, The Well. They actually had broken up for a little while because he started his new business, Barefoot and Chocolate, but they're getting back together. So they have a lot of local supporters that are definitely going to be there. And then Doug Allen, who is a professional singer-songwriter, went to high school. I went to high school with him in Darien. He actually is in Nashville now and playing with all the big-time musicians, but he has offered to fly back to Darien and to perform a special song that he wrote specifically for the foundation, and it's called Choose Love. So we're going to have a filmmaker there, and we're going to pass out sheet music, and we're all going to be singing this song, Choose Love. So it's going to be really, really fun. We have lots of prizes and gifts, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And how can people attend if they want to?
They can just show up at the door. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Okay, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, show up. It's a great hangout anyway in Darien. It's owned by Jimmy Love. And when I actually spoke with Jimmy Love, I gave him a bumper sticker, and it's our Choose Love bumper sticker. And he said, "Oh my God, my last name is Love. This is a sign." And I said, "I know, I knew it."
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And what are the times?
So the time, it starts at 6 p.m. and it goes until Jimmy's closes. I think that's pretty early in the morning. And we'll be there the whole time, having a great time.
And that's on June 11th.
That's on June
Thursday.
11th. I'll be getting up and speaking a little bit about our accomplishments in the past 2.5 years and the mission and vision for the future.
Now, Scarlett, how can people find out more about the organization itself and maybe, donate or help in any way?
Yes, you can go on to www.jesselewischooselove.org and check out our website. We have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter, we have an Instagram, and I'm doing all those. So any feedback you can give would be great. You can actually email me directly if you want to from the website, and I look forward to all interaction and feedback and inspiration from people.
Now, go ahead, John.
Go ahead.
Before we let you, is there anything that really stands out since you started the organization? Maybe the thing that you're most proud of or that touched you the most that you guys have been able to accomplish?
I don't know that it's our accomplishments, but I think that it's my definition of compassion that that has been enriched since the tragedy. I actually learned the definition of compassion from the world on that day because, I think that in our society we think of compassion as really empathy, as feeling another person's pain. And what I've learned through my journey is that actually lights up the same areas in our brain as physical pain. So when you identify with someone's pain, it's actually a painful experience. And I think that sometimes we shut down at that point because we want to be happy. We don't want to be in pain. We don't have time. I know I'm speaking for myself right now. But what I learned from the world on that day is that the true meaning of compassion has two components. The first is identifying with that, with your own pain or with someone else's pain. But the second component is the most powerful component, is actively doing something to help ease that pain. And I learned that from the world's response to our tragedy. It was so beautiful. Warehouses filling up and being given out and then filling up again. Beautiful, what I call love letters, but sympathy notes from all over the world. And 3/4 of those were from children. So it's this active component. It's when you actively do something, and it doesn't have to be something big. It could just be a smile to somebody on the street or a compliment. But in doing that, I've learned that you actually get all of the love and energy that you've given out, you get back. So in healing the other person, you're healing yourself. And that's the most beautiful thing that I think I've learned through this experience.
Well, Scarlett Lewis of the Jesse Lewis Choose Love Foundation, thank you so much for talking to us. And we just suggest everyone come next week, June 11th in Darien. It's going to be a great event.
Thank you so much, Kate and John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more Coffee Break after this.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season. And we are rated #1 on the Knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
It's easy to advertise on HANradio.com. Reach 263,000 listeners each month with our sports programming and talk programming. Call Marianne Hersam at 203-417-5199.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
It's 11:44 on your coffee break on HANradio.com and streaming on the Hersam Acorn Network. Kate Czaplinski back with John Kovach and Don Eng. Guys, that was an incredible interview with Scarlett Lewis.
Was she a very strong message, a very inspiring
strong
message.
But we are due for another look at local sports, Rob. I don't know if anything's happening today. Maybe it's a short look.
Kate, this just in, everything's canceled. Back to you. No,
okay.
that basically is
not the Sandberry game.
The Sandberry game will still go on. I'm very relieved that they will play. No, I don't know that for a fact either. What I do know is that a lot of games are canceled at this point, and it's going to take us out of doing a game again, unfortunately, but we will have Nutmeg Sports later on, and we can talk deeper about that. We can tell you that the track and field Class LL meet at Willowbrook Park has been delayed for an hour, with field events beginning at 3:30, track events at 4. Class MM meet at Middletown High is delayed an hour, same schedule. Class L meet suspended on Monday, resumes at Willowbrook Park, but that apparently was happening at 9. Class S at noon, Class M at 3:30, track events at 4. Class LL tennis at Yale postponed, and everything else has been pretty much put out to pasture, at least for now. So it'll continue to develop. We'll update it on Nutmeg at 2.
Bluefish are playing right now as we speak, Rob.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, it's one of those school day doubleheaders.
Right.
Looks like they have a house, too.
Okay.
Which is good for them.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised they're getting that in, but given the fact that it's a school day doubleheader, I would think that they would do unless they get a downpour, they're going to get it in.
Yeah.
It's hooky day at the ballpark.
Yeah, I guess so. So, all right, good to see that.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. So good to see that the Bluefish are out there. Let me see if I can get you something quick on that before I throw it back over to all of you. As we talk right now, it is Somerset just scored 2 in the top of the third, and it's Patriots leading the Bluefish 2-1.
And you'll have Nutmeg Sports at 2.
Planning to reconnect with Tim Murphy today at 2. We'll go through some of the stuff going on with the playoffs and all, and kind of use it as a preview. So we'll send it back over to you guys. Coffee break time, 11:46.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. Well, getting back to some news today, Sikorsky Aircraft is reportedly cutting up to 500 jobs at its PZL Mielec plant in Poland, according to multiple reports, after Airbus beat out the Stratford-based manufacturer for a contract with the Polish Armed Forces. According to Hearst, Connecticut media's Financial Minds, Radio Poland cited union officials who met Monday with Sikorsky management on the heels of earlier reports by other outlets published in Polish. In addition to derivatives of its Black Hawk helicopter, PZL Mielec produces fixed-wing aircraft for specialized applications like firefighting or cargo lifts onto short runways. The factory was purchased in 2007 by United Technologies, which is now in the process of seeking a spin-off or sale of Sikorsky. Coffee break time is 11:48.
Kate, we're still getting details on this, but Miller Driscoll School in Wilton was on lockdown briefly this morning. There was a report of a stranger in the building. There was a search. Parents were asked not to go to the school at that time. The police were completing the search. I'm getting more details if we can just bear with me for a second. I'm getting some more details now. This is from Susan Schultz at the Darien Times. That the lockdown is over, that there is no intruder, and that the person who was seen running through the hall was a staff member. So it was a person running through the hall, and if you're in Wilton, there will be a more detailed update coming to parents shortly. So lockdown is over in Wilton, and there is no danger. Your coffee break time's 11:48.
Running in the halls. Don't you get like your name on the board for that? You get like the
not if you're a staff
you get
member.
moved down.
Sometimes when these hallways are empty in our office building, I like sprint through them. It's like, how could you resist? And like do like little jumps in the air.
Well, because our hallway is
it's like when you have that empty hotel hallway when you're a kid.
Yeah, well, our hallway is like a racetrack because it is sort of it's parallelogon-ish.
But I would be very embarrassed if anyone spotted
like
me
that.
doing that, so I have to be
Parallelogon?
Ish.
I missed Ish Day in geometry.
Sort of.
Kinda.
All right, getting back to some other ish. A $2.5 million renovation of the Bedford Playhouse is set to begin this summer, according to the Lewisboro Ledger. The plans, which include the creation of 2 separate theaters, were approved after the Playhouse signed a lease with Alchemy Bedford, the building owners, last week. The lease included a section granting the theater tax-exempt status so they can redeem pledges made to the theater throughout the year to cover the renovations. John Farr, the Playhouse's founder, said the current expectation is that the renovation should take about a year. One theater will hold about 280 seats and will be a model of theaters from decades earlier, from, as they call it, the golden age of film. The second theater will be more modern and intimate, holding 90 seats. Both will provide cutting-edge screens and sound. The project is being funded by the Friends of the Bedford Playhouse, and you could read more on that at lewisboroledger.com.
Hey, while we're talking about theaters, Kate, the Prospector Theater in Ridgefield has received approval from the Ridgefield Planning and Zoning Commission to begin selling liquor at its cafe. The next step is approval from the State Department of Consumer Protection. The Prospector Theater is known for both first-run Hollywood movies and lesser-known independent and artistic fare. There are also classic and theme nights. This is a nonprofit we've done stories on Radio Arts and Leisure. It offers employment opportunities to adults with developmental disabilities. You can read more about the Prospector Theater at theridgefieldpress.com.
Well, John, we love some good animal news, and we have a little bit of that today. Yes, an 8-week-old kitten was pulled from the depths of a storm drain in Hartford thanks to Hartford police. Deputy Chief Brian Foley, we have a photo up if you're watching us on the live stream. It's just so adorable. Deputy Chief Brian Foley posted pictures and video to his Twitter account. He said canine officer and dive team member Holly Donahue lowered herself into the sewer on Monday night. In the video, the kitten can be heard frantically meowing. Police said they had to remove a storm drain grate and a manhole cover to rescue the animal. Donahue, clad in a dry suit, eventually hoisted the kitten to safety. It appeared to be unhurt, according to WFSB. Foley said the police department plans to release more information later Tuesday about the kitten's condition and potential adoption options.
Speaking of adoption, we've got a happy ending, Kate, to a story that we brought you from Harbor Yard on Friday. Just when that situation seemed hopeless for Weston, who had been at the Easton Animal Shelter for a year without being adopted, a family from Farmington answered the call and took him home. They went in, filled out an application. Animal Control Officer Kelly Fitch told the Easton Courier this morning. Yesterday around 3:30, Weston was adopted. The article in the Easton Courier that we talked about here on Coffee Break went viral, and the animal shelter received calls from as far away as Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and all over Connecticut. A woman from Reading offered to raise funds to send Weston to a Best Friends No-Kill shelter in Utah and to contribute herself, but now he has a home. He had been at the shelter a year as of May 28th. Just great news there.
Very good news. And finally, because we're doing a lot of animal news all in a row. So there's also some good animal news out of Trumbull. Allison Targowski, who's an 8th grade student at Madison Middle School in Trumbull, had seen a post about a dog in need at the Trumbull Animal Shelter, and she wanted to help. Snickers is a 4-year-old Chihuahua who had been diagnosed with cataracts in both eyes, making his vision very impaired, and eventually he would go blind. Allison was able to raise almost $3,000 to help with Snickers' surgery. She opened a GoFundMe account and sold Snickers candy bars appropriately enough. Snickers had his eye surgery to remove the cataracts on May 14th and is recovering well. If you're watching us, you can see the adorable photo of Allison, Trumbull's animal control officer, Lynn Della Bianca, and Snickers. He was adopted on May 22nd. By a Trumbull family, and he's doing great. And Allison just gave her thanks to everyone who helped her with the cause, including Trumbull Animal Hospital, Home Veterinary Services, and Joe Davi Salon. So just some great news there.
I like when we have 3 good animal stories in a row.
Me too.
I like how, and that kitten's adorable, but I'm a kitten guy.
I kind of want a candy bar now.
I know.
I kind of wanted a candy bar an hour ago. But that's neither here nor there. Some business news here, and that's that Bridgeport-based Novachem is being acquired by Sun Plastic of Parsippany, New Jersey. Both companies manufacture purging compounds that are used to break down resins that foul injection molders and other machinery used to produce plastic parts. That facility in Bridgeport employs 8 people. It looks like that will be closing. Novachem was founded in 1989, has been led since by founder and general manager Frank Van Haste. The company is located at 1450 Barnum Avenue in Bridgeport. Sun Plastic is a subsidiary of Tokyo-based Asahi Kasei.
Thanks, John. Well, just reviewing again some of our top headlines this morning. Bethel police have issued a silver alert for 16-year-old Rosalind Martinez, described as white Hispanic, 211 pounds, 5 feet 4 inches, with brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen in Bethel wearing a green sweatshirt and black leggings. She was seen Monday and is considered an endangered runaway. If you know of her whereabouts, contact Bethel Police at 203-744-7900.
Kate, an update on the breaking news we brought you out of Darien earlier. Republican candidate Jennifer Summer has withdrawn from the selectman race, she told the Darien Times this morning. According to the Times, information that is personal in nature about Summer was recently the topic of discussion in a local blog. She declined to comment to Susan Schultz of the Times on whether that was the reason for her decision. First Selectman Jamie Stevenson, who announced that she would be running for re-election with Summer, said of the withdrawal, quote, "This is a very sad day for Susan and I. Jennifer is a dear friend, and I've been so impressed by her values and priorities. Faith, family, friends, and country. She has dedicated her life to putting others before herself. We will continue to encourage her to step forward in the future, but respect her decision at this time." Continue to follow this story at DarienTimes.com.
Thanks, John. Well, as we mentioned earlier, Shelton firefighters responded to a trash fire in the Winter Brothers Waste Systems large garbage separation and recycling plant on Oliver Terrace around 1:30 Monday afternoon. The fire was relatively small and occurred in trash that had been piled in an indoor garbage type area. The fire was extinguished within a half hour, and a payloader was being used to remove debris that was near the fire. It was doused to prevent it from reigniting. Numerous Winter Brothers employees had been evacuated from the plant and could be seen gathered outside as they waited for the situation to be resolved. 3 Shelton fire companies were visible at the scene: Echo Hose, Huntington, and Pine Rock Park, as well as Shelton Police and Echo Hose Ambulance. It appeared about half a dozen fire trucks and 25 firefighters were involved in the response. No injuries were reported, and there appeared to be no structural damage. In May 2013, a major fire occurred in an older, much smaller Winter Brothers trash storage facility that is also on Oliver Terrace. Coffee break time is 11:56.
Kate, this is just in from the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. Indian Wells State Park in Shelton is closed today due to water quality issues. This because of the amount of precipitation that we have received. Also closed Wharton Brook State Park in Wallingford, Day Pond State Park in Colchester. So if you were trying to get out and get to the state park, you're, for whatever reason, on a day like this, and we'll talk to Don one more time about it.
Right. Well, John, we should mention that Melvin Mason is actually going to be in court today covering the WPCA referendum case that's expected. So I know he's going to be updating.
He will have an update, and this is the suit that's seeking a referendum. 6,000 signatures were submitted by Stratford residents seeking a referendum on the sale of the water pollution control plant to the New Haven Regional Authority. The town said we can't accept them under law. They want that accepted, so we'll be watching
that case is set to be heard at 2 o'clock today. I know Melvin said he's going to be tweeting at Stratford Star, and I'm sure you could get updates on the website as well. Should be a very interesting case. I'm sure we'll be talking about it tomorrow on Coffee Break.
I bet we will.
But, Don, has anything changed out there on the roads?
Just a couple of things. We have right now in the last few minutes just road work up in Harwinton, Route 8 southbound at exit 42. That earlier vehicle fire and crash in Hamden has been cleared, as has the crash in Shelton. And one interesting point is that Jim Hymes was in Stamford today talking about the deplorable condition of the I-95 bridges in Connecticut. Not a surprise to anyone who's lived in the state. And we have I-95 North closed in Bridgeport, exit 27A. I'm sorry, a lane closed at exit 27A for road work until 3 o'clock. That ongoing. And in the weather, rain or drizzle today, about a 40 or so % chance. Cloudy tonight, 47. Sunny and 60s tomorrow and Thursday. Clouding up again Friday and Saturday. Coffee break time, 11:58.
Thanks, Don. That's going to do it for your coffee break on HANradio.com, streaming live on the Hersam Acorn Network. Rob Adams will be back at 2 o'clock with Nutmeg Sports, and a lot to discuss as the window for the state playoffs gets smaller and smaller. Thanks for listening to Coffee Break.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
Want to get in touch with HAN Radio? You can find us on Twitter at Hersam Radio, on Facebook at Hersam Acorn Radio, or email us at radio@hersamacorn.com.